The Annabelle hydrangea is probably my #1 favorite plant that you can grow in your own garden. You know, probably about 20 years ago, this was maybe 3 to 5 plants, and slowly over the years, it's spread. Now, this is the summer blooming hydrangea, not the spring blooming, which could be pink or blue. Those you definitely prune differently. The summer blooming hydrangea blooms on new wood. So anytime during the winter months, all the way through maybe April, you can do this November through April, you can prune these. I prefer to prune them a little later because this provides cover for the wildlife like birds. You know, we have a couple Cooper's hawks and other predators here, and the birds like to have some protection. Now, there are 2 ways that you can prune this. One way is to prune them only partially to the ground, and if you prune them partially to the ground, you're going to get smaller heads. I prefer pruning them closer to the ground, and you can get these nice large heads. You can also dry these. They bloom starting out green, then they turn white, and then they turn a little olive color, a little bit of green, and that's when you can cut them and hang them upside down and dry them. So just come in, and I'm going to do the first way. Pruning them hard is probably the best. So with your shears, and you're going to come in here, and I prefer to prune them right down to 1 bud. Just like this. So if you look carefully here, there's a bud here, there's a bud here, there's a bud here. Now, if you want them to be a little taller with smaller flowers, you can prune them like that. But I prefer to prune them to a single bud. And this plant blooms for close to 2 months. And you can even transplant it. So, you know, during the late winter, you can dig portions of this and put them elsewhere in the garden. Now remember, this is a plant that likes full sun. It's going to really bloom better in the full sun for you. Here is one that I did not prune hard. And you can see it has multiple heads, and the heads are much smaller on this. So what I'm going to do though for this coming year is prune them to 1 bud. That 1 bud is going to continue to grow and produce a single stem with a large flowering truss that you see here. Anyone can grow this purple thumb Annabelle hydrangea. It just likes, as I mentioned, full sun, doesn't need a lot of water. So make sure you plant Annabelle hydrangea in your own garden. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.